Here's a full Shopify tutorial for beginners, step by step. Hey there, my name's Ricky Hayes and welcome to today's video on a full Shopify tutorial. This Google Doc, I will link it down below for anyone that says the word ecom. For anyone as well that puts ecom and likes today's video, I'll add an extra bonus for you as well. But let's get straight into it. So what you do is you start building your store. You can use my link. It is an affiliate link. You can use that if you wish. Otherwise, just go to shopify.com. And you want to set as an online store, you go next because it's an e-commerce business. I want a new business, we go next. I choose products I buy or make for myself. Depending on these categories, basically determines what apps you'll see as a recommended. So if you're doing digital products, music, digital art, NFTs, services, so all of these can work on Shopify. That isn't a problem. Obviously you've got drop shipping as well. So you'd see drop shipping related apps, print on demand. I sell products physically myself. That's the recommended approach that I would always suggest. So we go with that option. Right, so now Shopify is set up. You can see it's all pretty straightforward. A lot of this out of the box is pretty well set up. They've got free themes that you can then customize and basically use their own mini AI store generator. I don't use it naturally. I use my own theme, the Debutify theme. All right, so now I'm just in the themes. You can see there are free themes and you can use that. But for today's one, I am going to upload my theme. So I'm just going to upload that now to upload it. All right, so now I'm just in the theme section under online store themes, and I'm just going to import a theme, and you upload a zip file so you can use the Debutify theme. So to get the Debutify theme, just go to Debutify. You can choose any of these templates, or you can choose the default one. If you go view all, the default one that a lot of people use is there, and then you've got these other templates that fit your brand needs as well. All right, so now I've uploaded the theme, and it takes about a few minutes for it to then install. You can see it's version 8.5, which is the latest version, and you can see that it's in the theme library. Now, up to you, of course, as well. You can do the edits and then publish it. Because this is a test demo store, I'm not fussed about it. The default theme is always Horizon, so we go publish, and we choose publish, okay? And then what you can do is then you can go customize. Before we do that though, I like to do as I said, more the back end of Shopify. I like to sort of teach that. We'll go into the theme very, very soon. So firstly, you want to install Shopify Inbox. Or as I said in the Debutify theme, depending on your subscription, you can use the live chat there, but this Shopify Inbox is also free, so you can turn this on. Sometimes takes a moment. With these, you have to use the widgets to then turn it on, and you can see it down there, and you can then customize this. Okay, and you can see that I'm on the free plan of the Debutify, so that's why I'm not too stressed about it. For today's video, I'll make another video specifically on the Debutify theme, but you can see that this is now already sort of pre-set up for a jewelry brand with reviews and everything that comes with it, right? So it's really nice. Very importantly, add app embeds. So app embeds, all your app embeds will show here. So this is where any apps that overlay onto your theme or even into the checkout will have this, and that you can change the settings. This is all in the Shopify platform. And then you've got theme settings. So you've got free widgets, paid widgets. This is all exclusively for the Debutify theme. You got your free section. So again, like with this, you just turn this off. You can turn them on, turn them off, and go through them as you see fit. You add your logo. So your logo will show up the top here. So if I add a logo, pardon me, not a fav icon. All right, so I've just uploaded the Debutify logo just for the sake of this example. And that's for the desktop logo. You also have your mobile. That's why it's not showing here. But if I were to go the desktop views, you can see the logo is there, right? So that's why I like doing the different views. You also want to test it. Important thing to understand here as well is you can easily in here, you can enable and disable these settings, right? So you can hide or you can show. So if I wanted to hide the announcement bar has now disappeared, right? So welcome to the store. And if you want to then edit it, free shipping over $100. And you can add a link if you really want it, right? And for instance, that link might go to your collection page. It could go to a variety of areas. So I'll just choose all collections. So this is all hyperlinked to the back end of your store. Right, so anything you click here will then generally on this side is where it has the widgets and sections and enable, disable, and then here a lot of the time is where you do the editing, right? So with these slides, if I want to choose an image because we're in mobile view, again, I choose that just as an example. We'll now see that there should be a slide that will show, I didn't save, there we go. Sometimes it does that, so sometimes you have to redo that. And you can sort of get the point there. And that's pretty much it is all for drag and drop. And that, don't worry about that pop up for this example. And so you got your featured featured collection. So your featured collection, you can choose the featured collection, what that looks like. So the button link, the maximum number of products to show. So if I wanted to change it to 3, there we go, it's now 3. Do I want to have it as a list view? Do I want to have it as more a grid view? You choose your collection again. So this is where we'll go into the back end, and that's why usually what you do when you do the theme is you sort of, it's generally recommended to sort of do it last, because once you have the back end of Shopify set up, that's how we do it. Now, the other things while that was installing that I installed that's important is you want the Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. That allows you to connect your pixel and your tracking for both those platforms. You just go into them and you connect them up, right? So basically, pardon me, just click get started and you follow the steps, right? You'll choose your business portfolio. If you want to learn how to do your business manager, I've got videos in that in the channel, and you just follow the steps. You connect your Facebook account and then you connect it. With the Google Ads one as well, Google and YouTube, I mean, you call it Google and YouTube, but anyway, so Google is pretty much the same thing. You connect your Google account that has access to the assets, right? So it's important that when you make the 2 things you need to make, which is a Google Ads account, it's very important that when you make these, you already have your Google Ad account set up. When you make a Google Ad account on their website, I strongly recommend using their coupon. You get $600 free. I don't get anything for that. It's just something that you should use. And you make a merchant center. Merchant Center is free. I use this for testing. So you go to Google Merchant Center, make sure you bind all of them under the account, the same account that you're going to then integrate into Google, into Shopify with, right? So, dogs.com at dogs, right? And then use that same Gmail account or Google account, then bind there, because then it has the full permissions to be able to do everything. It will do the conversion tracking. It'll help verify your business manager. If you want to have a look in the Merchant Center, there are further business info settings you may need to do as well, depending on what region you're at as well. But I'll get into that in another video. And then Google Ads, you set up Google Ads. And the benefit of all of this is then your catalog's pushed, your pixel is pushed, your conversion tracking is pushed for both Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram simultaneously, and then you never have to touch it again. So very important to just set those up. It takes like 10 minutes, and then it'll probably take a day for approval. Once that's done, then like you really don't look at it at all, if I'm to be honest with you. You got your point of sale in your shop. If you're building a brand, it's strongly recommended you set up shop. Shop basically is really handy, where you can actually help Shopify have an app called Shop, connect with a growing network of high engaged verified shop users to drive growth, right? So it's just basically a way to get more sales. 200 a month shoppers use Shop Pay. So, it's a great way of getting on a network essentially for free. So I strongly recommend setting that up. You can just activate that yourself. Those are the 3 sort of main ones that you sort of need there as well. The other one as well that I would add in. All right, so on top of that, we've got the Debutify reviews. We've got Shopify email as the free one. I'm building my own one, Predictor Mail, so I'll be making videos on that. And then we've got Aftership, which is for order tracking. So basically the email, you just want a abandoned cart recovery is really all you want there in the beginning. Especially email abandoned cart recovery works really, really well. And with Aftership, you just want to make a basic tracking page that you can put on your website, which I'll sort of show you how we do that today. So just for the sake of this, you want to create an automation, recover abandoned checkout. All right, so now I have the Shopify email app installed. You need to be on a paid plan. Obviously, I'm not, but basically it just does that. They abandon checkout, and then it just sends a basic email. Long term, you'll probably want to use a proper ESP. There's Predict Mail, there's OmniSend, for example. You can do all of these. These are all automations, and they use various apps where you can integrate it all in as well. You can see it even has Aftership too. So that's the other app that I've installed, is Aftership. You just want to install it, and it will start sending tracking shipments for you, right? In the beginning, you can see that I've done some tests way ago, and it's got good support, and you can upgrade, right? So You can see that I've just reinstalled this today and it's just in a trial. So you set that up and it'll automatically send them for you. You don't need to worry about the branding and that initially. I wouldn't be worried about that. You have your tracking pages is the main thing that you're after, and you just want a basic tracking page. The reason I'm saying this is that in the beginning, you'll be more focused on the marketing, which is where you should be focused. You can choose any of these pages and edit it. You know, they've got an inbuilt editor, which is pretty cool. Okay, and you can see that this is the inbuilt editor. You can see this is from way, way, way back. You can add it to store, and what you do is you just copy the URL. Right? And what we then do is this is where you start using the content tab. You got meta objects, which is content, but we won't get into that much today. You got your files, so any image that you upload here for products for your website will all be added here, so you can see it, and then you could, you know, download it if you wanted, resize, crop, transform, draw. It's pretty cool, and then add alt text, so which is really important for SEO. And then you got your menus, and this is where we'll add our menu, right? So if I want to add tracking, track order, you just put in the URL manually, right? And I would also, you also want to put it in the footer. A lot of people want to see that in the footer. Most of the time, actually, you'd put it more in the footer than the header, but just wanted to sort of show you that. Okay, and then in other areas in the footer, you want to add your about us, contact us. So to do that, what we do is we go back to online store, discard that, pages. And this is here where you can make separate pages, right? So again, no one will be able to see this as a demo store, but contact us is one of the most important ones. And what you choose, make sure you choose. You can see here, this is all because of the Debutify theme. You can see all these different pages. You also do have an order tracking. So if you wanted to not use Aftership, you can use Debutify for that as well. I personally find Aftership better because it's, you know, a full app that does a lot more automation, whereas the Debutify theme is fantastic, but it doesn't have that level of permission. So we choose contact, and there we go. And now we have a page, we can preview it. And now we have a contact page that's not loading. I don't know what it is with not loading at the moment. Don't know why that's not loading. But nonetheless, you'll have a contact page, right? And that you can then go back into the content menus, footer menu, add contact. And once you have the page, it should pick it up. So if I put in contact, it has one result, but it's not finding it. Is that because the store isn't published? This is where at times, you know, discard pages. It's hidden, pardon me. Visible. Okay, and you can always change the template again at any stage. And if hopefully we go back to content and we go menus, footer menu, contact. There we go, perfect. And you can see it hyperlinks. The reason you want to do that is then it dynamically updates. So if you change any of the URLs or anything around that, it's fine, because one of the things that's really powerful with Shopify is SEO as well. So very important that you keep that in mind. So let's say when you build a page, you can also edit the SEO listing. So instead of contact us, you would put unique gift store. You know, Debutify. People type in your business name, contact us. If that just helps with that. And then the same with the meta description. You can use ChatGPT to help you with this, where you'd put make a Shopify meta. So if we go meta description, community gift store, all around women's shoes. Okay, it'll then do that. And as I said, like, this is far from perfect. But you can see that just for the sake of this example, you can paste it in there and you can see that I've used too many characters, right? So I actually need to make it less characters. It's only that, and then you can update your URL. Now, when you change that, it'll still have the old URL. It'll just automatically redirect to the new one. So that's the power of doing it this way as well. Okay. Now I wanted to go, we're going to go and discard that. So at the home, you just see basic. As you build, as your store gets sales and everything, this will change where you'll have a dashboard. It's suggesting that you set up these three things, which is customize your domain, set up Shopify domains, and review your domain. So first, I just wanted to say this is where you get your orders. So your orders will show here. You've got drafts if you want to make like a draft order. Maybe you're doing B2B. Shipping labels is where you manage all your shipping labels. So, you can get discounted rates for shipping labels, depending on your courier. So that's where you choose your preferred services for fulfillment, whatever that is. I use ShipBob, for example. You've got your abandoned checkout, so you can see your abandoned checkout. And with the Shopify email, it'll automatically pick those abandoned checkouts, and it'll automatically send an email based on the criteria there, right? So just a great starting point. Really helps. Usually about 10 to 20% of revenue comes from abandoned checkouts because so many people add to cart, forget, whatever happens. This is just a friendly reminder where you might want to add like a discount, or usually what you do is you send first email to remind them, second you give a discount, right? You want to try and keep your discounts as close to your chest as possible. Here is where the most important parts is you make your product. So if I want to make a product, I'm going to call it test shirt. And this is where you can edit it, test shirt, shirt. You can upload media. Oh. So I'll just add that. It has, a bit of AI that sort of helps you with the meta fields because, the more that you can help with that, it automatically picks up the category. You put your pricing. Do you want to charge tax on this product if you're paying tax, of course? Now, this is where as well, where you're publishing it, all those sales channels show up here, right? So you can remove it from there. So if I save that, you can then manage, and that's why we sort of try and do it more setting up a bit the back end first. So at any point, any of these channels don't work, these are sales channels where your catalog is automatically pushed. Okay, so once they're set up, it automatically pushes. But if you want certain products on certain platforms, you can obviously do that as well. This is your product categorization. What type of product is it? Shirt. What store is it? My store, of course. And what collection? You can bind it to collections, but as I said, I'm going to add a tag of test, and I'm going to show you how this works. And you can then do this. So if we want to have any of these is from the Debutify theme. So I want to have quantity break, and I will save that, and then I can preview it in a moment. But before we get to that, you've got your SKU, your stock keeping unit, which is something more internal, so you can manage it, and you've got your barcode, so you can add your barcode for that product, so that way if you're doing scanning, you can track it. Really important. You can track quantity, of course, and you can continue selling when out of stock. Obviously, that's all up to you. So you're shipping, this is a physical product. Is it a physical or digital product? Depends on your type of business. And you've got variants, like size, color, the most popular ones naturally. And then you've got all these meta fields as well that that you can add in as well. So if I wanted to add color, I want to add that, you can add in more. So if I wanted to add, you can see all these different types, so color, size, fabric, age group, clothing features, neckline. There's a lot, right? And that all is partly determined by the category that you choose here as well, to streamline that. Okay, so if we choose color, black, okay, and green, there we go, black and green. And so you can see that it shows up as nice color swatches. Again, you got down here as well, you got your categories. So see how you can add multiple variants, and again, age group, and it'll show up automatically down here. So, and you can see those are the meta fields that it's automatically pre-populating. I always like to make sure I save just as I go through it so I don't miss anything important. And this here is where you can set up your page title. So again, for SEO purposes, so I strongly recommend, if you're getting an SEO agency, SEO tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, or you have an SEO internal team, this is where they should be spending a lot of time so that your products rank as high as possible. Right, so now we've done a product. Now we go collections. So this is where, as I said, I'm going to make like a test collection. And I'm just going to call blah, blah, blah. And what you want to do is you go smart and you can go all or any condition and tag is equal to test. And what will then happen is that that product has automatically shown up. So if I change that TE, it won't show up. And then if I naturally re-add it, I don't know why it's not updating, but won't let me. Okay. And then you can add an image for that collection. You can again choose what channels you're publishing it on, and you can use a template. And then again, you got your SEO listing. So it's a lot the same, very consistent when it comes to that. You got your purchase orders, you got your inventory, which is where you can actually track your inventory of all your items. Purchase orders, transfers, like let's say you're getting it from Alibaba, sending it to ShipBob, the transfer so you can track it, right? Basically just a tracking link, which is really, really handy, especially as you're doing a lot as well between different locations. But if you're using a tool like I use ShipBob, basically it's essentially drop shipping, but it's actually branded, like proper branded, 1 to 2 day delivery time. Gift cards, so you can make gift cards, especially as you build a brand. Gift cards are really popular because you get customer retention, which is really important. When you get customers, you will see all your customer data, where they come from, what address they are, their name, everything like that. And you can then segment that data. Marketing is where you can see, this is handy. I don't use a lot of this. Attribution is handy, especially for marketing. And then you got your campaigns. So you can create a campaign for your tracking, create campaigns to evaluate how marketing initiatives. You can use a lot of this as well to get unique tracking links that can help you as well. This is more advanced, so we don't need to worry about that. But you can see that it's trying to set up automated marketing campaigns, abandoned cart and stuff as well. You can see how the baseline that is important. And attribution, is very important to have a look at those analytics. Discount codes is where you create a discount code. So if we were to make a discount code, key test percentage 20%, it applies to specific products, for example. You can browse, there we go. I've got all my product, my variants for my SKU. Eligibility, is it all customers, specific customers, and you can then limit the number of times a discount can be used is always something I would recommend you do, because otherwise it can get used. And limit per customer, one per customer. So you're running a specific sale, you can sort of set that up, but you'll go through all of that, and you can either deactivate them or you can promote them. You can get a tracking link as well. So it's really handy if you're working with an influencer. These things can be really happy as well. So you can send it to the product page or the home page. Generally, most of the time you'll send it to the home page, especially if you're running a sale. Again, content, we've got meta objects. So you can see that we've started to build out our meta objects. We've got files, we've got menus, and you've got your blog post. So I strongly recommend you're building your brand, that you build a blog. So Ricky blog. And again, you want to add an image, who the author is. You can have multiple authors. What type is it? Is it news? What tags? And then the blog type, right? Save, and you want to build a blog. If you can try and do a blog once a week, it can make a massive difference. You want to make sure as well it's currently hidden, and I believe that's partly because I haven't changed the setting. You can use ChatGPT to help you, but I always recommend double checking it, because you don't want it completely AI. You want it to be as genuine as possible. Markets is where you can see various markets. So you can see mine's defaulted to Australia, so you can add multiple markets if you're marketing to multiple countries. It gives you a lot more control and flexibility for different countries about logistics, especially different imports and so on and so forth. Finance is it's really handy, where you can see, how much you're getting paid out. And Shopify also have recommendations, like to get Shopify lending as well, which is really handy as you build out your brand. They're happy to do that. And the most important one people use is the analytics, right? Where they have a look at your analytics, and you can see here, your gross sales, and you can customize this as you sort of see fit. As I build out my pajama brand, I'll be customizing this and showing that all live as well, both on my, I've got this channel and another channel I'm building out as well. And the one that a lot of people love is the live view, which is where you see the earth and you can see, visitors, and you can actually control it, right? So this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, people will be going very bonkers over the United States. I don't know what that is, but you can sort of see that's pretty cool, right? So that's pretty much it. The other part is then the settings. So you got your general settings, so you can change your email, your location. Um, you can have a look at all these, but for the most part, you just put that all, but that's all your personal information. You choose your plan. Naturally, most of us will be starting as just the base plan. I've got a 3-day trial in this case. Your billing is, for your billing card users, you'll have one user. As a little tip trick around, if you want more users to access it, make a Shopify partner portal account. It's free. Link this as a partner portal account, essentially as if you're an agency that's probably doing third-party services or a SaaS service that's supporting the brand. Um, and then you can add all your users into the partner portal and they can get access to the store. So basically it's a workaround that I've used a number of times. Security, I always strongly recommend 2-factor. Payments, this is here where you want to set up your payment gateway, being Shopify Payments. It'll ask for verification, go through the process, add your driver's license, passport, your bill, and then your transaction, and everything else you just want to leave it as is. For now is really all you really need to do. Checkout is where you can customize your checkout. I leave pretty much all of this as default. In the past, many years ago, it used to be a lot of conversion rate optimization for the checkout, but Shopify have really improved this a great deal. You want to set up email for regions recommended by Shopify is United States. So, display a checkout box for customers to sign up for email and SMS. And if you want to use SMS, you need to use an SMS authorized app. Right now, Predictmail doesn't have that, but email it definitely does, and that's more than enough in the beginning. And then you want to have you want to get your address and your add to cart limit, and you leave that on. Protects the available quantities, right? So you can turn that off, of course, as well. But obviously, just have a look at that and verify that for your specific brand. Customer accounts is if they have a login, basically, and I just again leave this as allow customers to request and manage returns. As you scale, definitely turn this on. You want to use something like Aftership returns, really, really helps. Definitely don't use a legacy. The new one is 100 times better. Okay. And then you can add this to your website as well so that people can manage their account. It's really, really handy. Shipping delivery. Now, shipping delivery, this is where it requires, it can be a bit confusing, right? You can use, buy labels with the lowest rates, so you can calculate the rates based on various variables there. Most of this you won't touch. You can add an email for a custom fulfillment service, so like let's say ShipBob, but you'll install the app, which is something like ShipBob most of the time, and it then integrates and it'll update this for you, right? So then you go into your product and what you have is your general profile, and you can see I have my shipping zones, and I've already set up some shipping zones. So, if you want to add international, which I added just a heap of countries, but strongly recommend you add each country and shipping rates per country. And if you want to start shipping to more places, add countries and regions to a market to start selling. So what you do is you go to markets. This is where it opens up that, and you can then create a new market. So I'm going to put United States. Okay. And you can see what's cool about it is catalogs, all language is English, taxes not collecting, and the online store. So you can even change all of this based on different locations, which is really handy. It gives a lot of that. And most importantly, it has a foreign exchange rate, right? Because you have your default currency and it'll just automatically do that. It helps increase your conversion rates from that as well. Back to your shipping and delivery. One tip that I always have is have your shipping as you want to have standard shipping and then you want to have at least express. Let's go edit this. What you can do is, standard 2 to 10 days, you can remove conditional pricing. So you can do it based on order price. Or you can do it on weight. A lot of the time I actually end up, as I start building it out, I started on price just to start getting people through the door. And then I immediately move it to weight. Weight is a lot more dynamic and a lot more variable. You can then, 0 to 500 grams is this, and this. And then always what you want to do is have a free shipping tier. So if you're having like free shipping over $100, what you can then do is simply put the price as 0 and based on order price $100. So even if someone has a massive weight of items, if it exceeds $100 in value, this will supersede it, right? So that's just a very important thing to keep in mind as you build that out as well. And be transparent about your shipping as well. Be transparent about that and put in ideally that you get order tracking using something like Aftership in your checkout. You can also add in order tracking links as well, which we'll get to. If you're collecting taxes and duties, you set that up. You can set that up per country. That's pretty self-explanatory. Locations, if you have a physical location and what those locations are, you can have up to 2 on the base plan. You got your apps and sales, which again is just the exact same thing as what we've seen. And this is here where you connect your domains. So you can use plenty of domain service providers for this. There's .store domains. There's GoDaddy, Shopify have one as well. I use .store domains because I get a free domain for a year, so it just saves me a couple of bucks. You got customer events. This is where I've not personally used this all that much, so I can't really say. I don't think you really need to. You got notifications that can show you emails about new order coming through and so on and so forth. Languages for different languages. Your customer privacy, very important that you have that on, and then your policies. And this is where you want to set up your policies, and you can use their templates and then set that up. And the good thing is once you have those policies, then you go back to content, you go back to menus, and always in your footer menu, you have your terms of service. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you put in here, it automatically puts in the title of it, right? So it's just, there we go, terms of service. I don't know, maybe I haven't made the other pages, maybe live. But anyway, so you add your terms of service, refund policy, privacy policy. You just use the base templates that they have, and over time, naturally, you will change that. But that's pretty much all you really need to do. Yeah, I haven't made it properly. So refund and return. This will show up on then your website and also in the checkout. Very important to give that absolute transparency in e-commerce now. Transparency is a very, very important thing. So now that's your back end. That's pretty much all you need to do in the back end. And a lot of the time you'll spend time in your apps and on your website front. With the checkout, I just wanted to sort of show that a bit too. You can go from here and you edit your checkout content. You can edit that and you can manage that all as well. So you can go here and you can have your theme content and change all of this if you want. I'll be honest, I don't really change this. You want to leave it all as default as much as possible is sort of the best way to do it. And then the rest is, as I said, the more you build out your products in that, they'll just start showing up automatically on your theme. You build your navigation, and then the most of this is then just go into the theme, say, I want to choose this collection, I want to choose this, I want to choose that. If you're using the Debutify theme, you'll spend a bit of time in there to optimize your product page, home page, cart page, where you can then adjust that accordingly. So again, you just spend time in here to change between the pages. You can go away. You can go to the collection page. So if I wanted to go to a product page and I wanted to have a look at this, okay, so you can see that it's sort of set it up. It's nowhere near optimized at all, but you can sort of get the point. And then you can say, oh, I don't want this. I want to hide that. Show it, product information, title, disappear. So you can then change all of this as you sort of see fit. This is all sort of predefined out of the box as well. And the other thing I wanted to show was that really more the cart checkout page. Yes, that's why I can't go to it because I don't have the full setup there. But you can go and have a look at all of these as you sort of set that up. And then obviously the cart page as well, which is where if you're using something like the Debutify theme, you will then probably a lot of the time want to, you'll set up cart goals, you'll want to set up upsells that'll help you with that as well. So you can add a section and then, okay, I want to add Facebook testimonial, right? It will then, I don't know why it hasn't added it. There you go, bit laggy. And you can see that I can then change these images and the video thumbnail, and you can add a video as well, to sort of help with that. You can even use Trustpilot reviews, which is really, really handy. A number of this isn't working because I'm sort of just on the free plan, just for the sake of this tutorial. But I just wanted to sort of show a bit of this. as well. And as I said, go through all of these. You can have a look at your buttons, change your button color, thickness, align to your branding is a very important part. In the beginning, you don't want to spend forever on this. I've made a big mistake in the past of you spend forever building the perfect brand. No, what you want to do a lot of the time is set this up, get it moving, use the paid widgets, the free sections and the paid sections, and just get it mostly set up and you'll learn, right? If you have issues with the Debutify theme, contact support. Obviously, Shopify have a lot of support there too. Very good support 24/7 as well. Pretty much all these apps sort of do. But between doing all of this, you have all the apps you need that are all pretty much free to start off with. And then you can focus on what you want to do best, which is the marketing side of it. So I hope this has sort of been helpful. I plan to release these every month as you know, a lot of things always change and I want to make new videos about this as well. Keep in mind that any of these themes do work. I just use the Debutify theme because it's my product, it saves money and it helps improve my conversion rates. But a very important part is I very much work on branding as well. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to like, share, subscribe. If you want the doc that I have, comment the word ecom down below. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.